What's going on, Agency Intelligence Network? It's your boy back again. I know it's been a while, but I'm with a very, very special and close guest of mine. I actually met him back in January at the One City World Tour Conference, which was put on by our great friends at Glovebox. Um, when I met this individual, the first thing before I even introduced myself, I heard him ask about 17 different questions a day. And, we may sit here and laugh and be like, what are you getting at with that, Gibson? Like, what in the hell do you mean? The reason why I was so intuitive to the questions that he asked is because they were so like in the moment. The topic of conversation was so in the moment of what's actually going to win business in this real world, first off. And two, he was there because he's eager to learn. A lot of times we go to these conferences, we sit there and it's the dog and pony shows. We listen to these speakers, and sometimes we hear the same speakers 20 times in a row, which we're not going to get into that. But with that being said, the thing that was most important to me is there was someone there eager to learn. And I'm like, I'm now eager to learn who this guy is and what he's all about. So I'm joined by the one and only Jeremy Powers at Powers Insurance Experts. And they are located in, is it Irmo, South
It's
Carolina,
Columbia,
Jeremy?
Columbia, South Carolina. That's
Columbia,
it.
South Carolina, in that area.
That's
He
it.
comes to us from on the East Coast, which I'm anxious to talk a little East Coast personal lines insurance and kind of see what his thoughts are on that. But Jeremy has grown a scratch agency to a book of business now where he's got a grasp a hold on, and he's understanding his target market. He is understanding his specific customer life cycle, and I can't wait to dig in and talk to you more about his process, his systems, things that they're doing on a daily basis. But without further ado, Mr. Jeremy Powers with Powers Insurance Experts. Jeremy, I appreciate your time. I know it's a little bit of later of an evening to take a podcast, but I appreciate your time and efforts, and look forward to diving in this show, man. I appreciate you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited to be on your podcast. I'm a listener, and it's a great show. I just always love anyone who has such a good mindset for the industry. That anyone who's willing to help the industry grow and is willing to give back to the industry, full of people that are so giving. It's just it's just an honor to be here and to hopefully help that one agent somewhere that's going to listen to this and say, you know what, I'm the only one that's a little bit not as far as that guy is along. So I'll take it. But I'm usually the one learning, so I'll be happy to share this one time.
That's the one thing about the industry, Jeremy, that will never go away. And I think we've kind of been in the insurance industry. You might have been in a few years longer previously on the captive side before you jumped and started your scratch. But the one thing I've always, since I've started, and 5 years ago, it feels like it was yesterday, but 5 years ago, I've learned one thing specifically that has not changed no matter who I'm talking to, is that it is a very shareable and helpful industry. Everybody's willing to share the tools, because the thing that makes us unique as agents is everybody's genuinely different. Everybody's got their own tools. Everybody's got their own tricks. Everybody's got their own technology. Some don't even know how the hell they got into the industry in general, which I think is 90% of us. The other ones are all generational, brought into the industry. But in general, kind of what kind of got you started in it? Where did you resonate from? What sparked the interest mind of, why do I even want to be in insurance, and kind of where was the first opportunity, and where did that lead you into starting PIE here?
Sure. Well, as a child, I remember, just having this just vision, of doing anything other than being an insurance agent. That's honestly what that vision was. But growing up, I come from a hardworking family that you just really, we did a lot of moving growing up, and things were never really settled. And throughout school, I wasn't a great student. I'm a child of ADD, and so, but I think it's a superpower. I really do. I think used correctly, it's actually a secret weapon. And so for me personally, I'd never really had any idea what I really wanted to do. I wanted to go into something maybe medical, and was a transporter for a hospital, but got in trouble for spending time with patients, a little too much time. And so I just realized this isn't for me. It was, nothing against the medical field, but they wanted to churn and burn, and that is what it is. And so fortunately, after a little bit, I found my way into an agency at the age of 19. And I just asked the agency owner at the time, I was like, this is like a really professional job. Like, can I have an opportunity? And he said, man, no one is going to buy insurance from a 19, 20-year-old guy. And I was persistent over a few months of asking him, and persistence, won the game. He gave me the opportunity. I studied for 3 days, made a 70 on the test, and the rest was history. The first
You
2 years.
passed it. Hold on. You passed the test the first time.
Yeah, it's
Man,
three.
Jeremy, you get
Yeah.
off the podcast, dude. You're in
Hey,
the top 1%. So I
no,
didn't mean to
no,
interrupt you. I failed it a couple times, so I had to interrupt you there. So I gave you a
no.
chance. You passed the test, and here you were getting ready to sell insurance.
That's right. And so, I was thrown to the wolves, but really I had a manager owner. And at that time I needed that. I didn't have a father growing up. And so I was kind of just all over the place. And so I had an agent who was really, really dialed in on, letting me know what I was doing wrong and keeping me accountable. And it was great, man. I really, I'm not one of those folks that pick on the captive side of the business. I really respect and value that we were trusted advisors for a time. And I do think that the company that I worked for, I was an Allstate guy. I do think they're in a completely different world now. And I saw the writing on the wall and left in 2019 to open my agency in 2020. But the early days of that career, man, I really took pride in what we did. After 2 years of not caring what I was doing, then all of a sudden something clicked, and I realized how what we do is so important. And I think that it's realizing my love for. I'm always a servant heart, a giver. It's just who I am naturally. And so, what's really neat about this position is that we get to be superheroes for people because, in my opinion, we are the second most important relationship that you have next to your doctor. And we really protect all the assets that you work so hard every day to protect. And I tell my agents, this is what we tell our customers all the time is that we spend more than 15 minutes with you because you're worth it. And it's the anti-Geico approach. I'm like, why would I spend less than 15 minutes on everything you've worked so hard for? And that is really what inspired me to take what I did seriously, but then to continue doing it. And, I hope to be doing this when I'm 75 and be that agent that just you won't stop talking about the good old days. I mean,
Like, when the hell's this guy gonna get out of
yeah,
here?
I know. I just love what I do so much, man. And it's been awesome to see the culture that we've built and really what we've been able to do in our community. It's just been so fun.
Well, I'm glad you hit on the community aspect massively. It's because one thing is I've been sitting here working with an individual who's a younger age and actually located here in Indiana. He's niche focused, and he actually works for one of our really, really great friends in the podcasting world, but without saying names and whatnot. This young kid, he's in the same boat. It's like he's in the middle of a bigger city, but the agency that he was with previously never really taught him that how important your community and your I guess being the mayor of your town it really is. And if there's any
Mm-hmm.
advice I guess I could give anybody, and you can probably be the right hand man for this, Jeremy, is be the guy that's the community connector, the guy that
Mm-hmm.
everybody was like, hey, do you know anybody that I could go to for banking? Do you know anybody I could go to get my windows tinted? Those
Mm-hmm.
guys right there win life. And on top of that, if they're winning life, they're winning business, right? So the community aspect is huge. Just getting involved,
Mm-hmm.
giving back. I mean, as simple as giving back. Everybody thinks that giving back has to be a financial dollar. Not even close.
That's right.
Because I tell you right now, people recognize us as individuals, but people also recognize as individuals in our side of our businesses. What
Mm-hmm.
does that person do? What are they doing in the community? We have the greatest platforms in the world. It's called social media that they didn't have back 50 years ago in the stone ages of insurance to show you what we're doing out in the community. It's not for a cloud. It's not to show you the things that we're doing because we want you to know how great we are. It's
Mm-hmm.
to show you that we care, right? So you've probably seen that big transformation when, yeah, you're just an agent for an Allstate company, but now being the agency owner of a very, very, very well known now agency, and you've probably got other agents and other people in the community asking, who in the heck's this Jeremy Powers dude, and who in the heck's Powers insurance experts? Because I keep
Mm-hmm.
hearing their name. What are they doing? It's not just
Mm-hmm.
because they're doing good insurance work. It's because they're showing and are actually, engaging in the community and actually giving back in ways that are outside of financials. What types of things I guess, are you guys doing in the community, Jeremy?
Sure.
Do you encourage your agents to get involved with board of directors,
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature? I know that was one thing year two for me. My year two goal wasn't to write X amount of dollars in premium. My
Mm-hmm.
year two goal was to get involved in the community in two different ways. I did
Mm-hmm.
that. I'll share mine here in a few minutes, but I want to know what types of things you're encouraging, not only your guys' agency in a whole, but maybe producers or agents. Is there certain things that you're wanting them
Sure.
to do outside of the 9 to 5 office work, like getting involved with a not for profit?
So there's really two things. Number one, and I'll go back to my last years in the captive world, is that, I had someone ask me to come visit this group. When I went there, it seemed like some kind of pyramid scheme. I was waiting for them to drink the Kool-Aid, and I walked out, and it was called BNI, Business Networks of International. Okay, and so what I'll tell you is a lot of people hate on some BNI, but me, I went the next day after that group to help a startup chapter, and there were 9 insurance agents there. I mean, one of the people in the group was our former college quarterback that had just graduated from the
Wow.
University of South Carolina. Then you had other agency owners, even in my same captive board. Here I am, just Jeremy. And so at the end of the day, in that point in my career, I was just a manager of an agency for 8 years. I wasn't the owner, my name wasn't on it, but I knew that I saw people at that startup group that were from the group that I had went to the day before. And the first thing that I thought to myself is, you don't duplicate failure, right? I mean, you do something and you mess up, you're not going to say, let me just do that again,
That
unless
again.
it's just,
Right, right.
unless it's just stupid enough it might work. But I mean, at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? There's something to this. And so this was the first ever group that they were doing what's called a point system. And so I just told myself, Jeremy, if you want to win, if you want to get the seat, you would rather get into it and find out that it was dumb than not get into it and be on the outside looking in. And so, man, at the end of that, I remember I had like 380 points in my closest competition. I had like 75. Everyone thought that they were going to get it because of who they were. And man, I just worked hard. And the guy that picked me said, Jeremy, I only get one vote, but I voted for you 3 times. We're still friends to this day. But BNI's produced me over $700,000 in business in 4 years. It has been incredible for me. I was the president of our chapter the first full term, which helped me in my leadership abilities, which ultimately I believe helped me take the leap of faith to open my own agency. It's so much more than just a networking group. It's givers gain. It's a philosophy. It's part of my DNA. But every one of my agents is part of BNI. We're in 5 BNI chapters, and like I said, some people it's not for you. I will tell you, the group that I'm a part of, we built 65 members. It has a culture. It's called FAM, FAMM, and it's a family atmosphere. Man, what we've built turned into on Soda City Connectors, our local page where people ask for help. People literally email or message me and say, dude, your name shows up more than the word insurance does when I type in insurance. I mean, it's so fun to see the following of our customers. Like someone the other day commented on a post, they had 19, and we were 16 of the comments or organically. That was nothing that we did, but man, it's just such a blessing to see what just God has given us in favor for this agency. But it's because we care. Another thing that we do, which probably you haven't heard of before, is we use something called send out cards, and that's what I'm very blessed to talk about when the Better Agency Conference comes up in April. It's just something that we do that's a little unique. That there are some other agencies that are doing is we've shared it with some agencies and they're doing it. And so what we do is we have a program where we're looking not only our clients, not only the people we're trying to work with, not only our referral partners, but my agents are going to look at their social media. Let's just be honest. Social media can be a tool, or you can be a tool for social media. But at the
Right.
end of the day, I want my people to use it because they're going to get on it, use it for something that could benefit. And so what we do is we look out in the community and find Johnny just got his black belt in karate. Susie just got a promotion. John just won Chef of the Year, whatever. We take those photos, we send them to these clients on cards and just say, man, congratulations. Like I could think of the most recent one. We had a gentleman, a lady who her son chose to give away his $25 birthday gift card so all his friends could get ice cream. And so what we did is we sent him a $25 Amazon and said, dude, thanks for being what our community needs. Like, thank you. And once again, what that turned into with nothing that we asked, she shared that on social media. We got 4 quote requests. I tell everyone, be the change you want to see. What a platform do we have as insurance agencies, as business owners, to be the change we want to see in our community? We get to talk and work with so many people. Why not be a light? Why not in this dark world be something that's a little different? And man, it's so fun when one of my agents gets a compliment like, wow, thank you so much for what you did for me. And then that light turns on for them. And I'm like, man, how many people are they going to affect? I'm able to be blessed in this position. I actually coach agencies. I have about 5 or 6 agencies that I'm blessed to coach and I'm blessed to consult for. And man, to see them do it, I cannot change the world alone. I can't do it. Like this is a
Facts.
passion for me. And so if I can inspire some other agents to really care about what they do, not only are we saving Johnny's family when he gets into a wreck, but we're also just encouraging someone when they're going through maybe a life trial, or it's just so much more to what we do. And I think as agents, we get so stuck on buying a yacht and we forget about what we're really in this for. And I think that it's a much more fun road to the top if you focus on people, because people produce more people and all those people have money. It's just the best way to go.
The best part of what you said right there, and it probably answers 95% of the questions that people reach out to me and try to consult and try to get a couple questions for, just like you do. People message you all the time. Hey, Jeremy, can I
Hmm.
have 5 minutes of your time? I'd love to ask you this question. I'd have to say a vast majority of it is all marketing. And it's the same way for me. How are you reaching more people? One, you're being genuine. But two, my favorite thing you said right there was that Johnny who decided to give the $5 gift card he got and to buy his friends and family and people out in the community ice cream. It wasn't that you got his parents' insurance, was it? It was that you got his family to share something that was the kindness of his heart,
Hmm.
not yours.
That's
Yours
right.
came into play previously, right? But at that
Hmm.
point, it's his parents showing the generosity out of their own son's heart and mind to share his $25 and give ice cream to everybody else. As simple as that.
That's right.
That is what made an impact. And you'll hear me on every single show. If you were, if you sit here long enough and listen to the show, the last thing that I say before I sign off is always remember that you can do one thing to make a difference. Make a difference in someone's life every day. That wins life
Hmm.
and wins insurance. It does. And it takes how long to do a note card, Jeremy?
Yeah, 2 minutes, if that. It's a simple.
2 minutes.
Yeah,
Instead of scrolling through
yeah,
TikTok for 15 while you're sitting on the toilet taking a number two,
yeah.
spend 2 minutes
So
to write a thank you card. I mean, it's that
what
simple, right? Like, I mean,
what
where am I missing this
yeah.
misconfobulation? Is it
Well,
because
what's
it's
really fun.
materialistic?
Mhm. Well, what's really fun is that, I've gotten my daughters involved in it, and it's so much fun because they have Procreate or whatever it's called on their iPads, and so they'll draw a house or a car, or it's called Chloe and Olivia's Creative Cards, and they send cards out through us into the community to our clients, and it's just so fun because there's no such thing as a work life balance. Like this agency is a part of my life; it's a part of my DNA, and I want my children, whether it's me, I talked about in our podcast that we have, I talked about the Disney jar. Like whenever I started this business, I wanted to give up I wanted to give great level of customer service, but I'm a single dad at that time of two girls. And I'm like, how do I do all of this together? But the truth is life doesn't stop. So you have to find a way to win. And so what I did was I got a Disney jar, and every time daddy had to answer a call after hours, money got dropped in. So the answering the calls became a sad thing to like, oh yeah, we're going to Disney. And so we were able to capitalize on that a few months ago to go see my brother-in-law now in the Special Olympics, and just to be able to let them know like this is our hard work. This is because you sacrificed dad time for so daddy could build this, but then it's also not forgetting that, Jeremy, when you've got all these deals in front of you, you've got everybody asking you like, hey, let's partner on this, let's do that. Like this is not what you got in this for. You got in this to build a quality of life for your family, to make an impact on the community, but don't lose your family on the way, because everyone's trying to dangle money in front of you. But I tell myself all the time, and I'm a strong believer, I don't want a penny more than God blessed me with, because I don't want to be I don't want to be who he did not create me to be.
Bingo.
I want to be exactly and authentically who I'm created to be. And man, my kids, it's just so fun and so amazing to see them grow and be a part of this. And I make plenty of mistakes. I'm not trying to say I'm this perfect, this, that, and
We
the other,
all
but
do, man. We all do.
plenty of mistakes. But it's just been a really fun ride, man. It literally is mind boggling to me that I never thought I'd be where I am today, but here I am.
Well, I can tell you just inspired me to also start and embark on the Brooklyn and Hadley cards to the community. I think that's absolutely amazing. And,
That's great, man.
I'm going to be completely honest with you, and I'll be the first one. And you ask anybody that knows me, especially all the insurance colleagues of mine, or the podcast colleagues of mine that are out there. Um, my girls mean the world to me, right? And the
Hmm.
hardest thing for me to do is figure out a way to how I can get them involved as well, right? Having having them 50% of the time and their mother having 50% of the time.
Yeah.
Some of the things I don't get to take them in to enjoy with things that I want them to understand what daddy's about, right? I
Hmm.
love the jar because Disney is a topic of conversation in our house every single week. I can tell you that,
That's it.
whether it's a Disney movie or whatever it might be. So I like that idea. And it's
That's
always,
great.
daddy, why are you on the phone, right? But that's also part
Hmm.
of it.
Hmm.
You ever heard the term, and I know you, back to what I said, your favorite thing you said was there's no such thing as work-life balance. There's not. You ever heard the term work-life harmony?
That's right. Little Grant Botman action over there.
Work-life harmony is
Hmm.
amazing, is the
Good.
most amazing term I've heard. And after Batma, right, I had a guy on my show who has a company. He owns a staffing company. But I was back actually when actually it wasn't even on my own show. It was back in 2020, almost 2 years ago, when I guest hosted Cass's show for about 8 weeks. And the gentleman that I had on, Todd Saylor, wrote a couple of different books, and one of them is called Wired Differently. And he's a big spiritual, religious gentleman, right? And I love the guy to death. And the thing that always hit home for me was how he explained and distributed and it communicated work life harmony. Because
Mm. Mm.
you hear the Bobmas of the world, right? Who it's life, it's work and then family and then
Yeah.
your free time. But factor in faith and within all that, right? Work,
Yeah.
faith, family, free time. Sometimes the free
Hmm.
time doesn't get to happen, right? But if you can incorporate and get everybody on the same page with the communication
Yeah.
aspect of it and getting them to enjoy something, some type of reward off of the hard work and dedication you're doing,
That's right.
right? Because it's not all financially. How can everybody enjoy this? So that
Yeah.
is absolutely phenomenal, Jeremy. And I
Hmm.
really, it's the first time I've heard you say that
Hmm.
completely. And I'd put my right hand on the Bible and say that's the first time I ever heard that come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And for that, I appreciate that. And
Sure.
I always tell the loyal listeners here on the network that I get more out of my guests than maybe sometimes my guests get out of the guest, or my listeners get out of the guest, right?
Mm.
And it's a selfish part about me because
Sure.
I want people on that I can learn from and the people that are actually doing the things that I truly believe in. You're not going to have me just have people on and guest on because they're show sponsors.
Hmm.
That's not at all the truth. I want people that are going to shoot the truth and that are going
Yeah.
to show you what works. It's
Hmm.
now been almost 35 minutes. Have we talked about insurance one time?
Not at all. Not at all. And that's the beauty of it, man. It's so much more than insurance. Insurance is the vehicle, but it might be the vehicle that gives me the ability to do what I want to do. But my goal is just to inspire. It's like I don't care if you're a janitor, I don't care if you're an insurance agent, I don't care if you're listening to this and you just happen to be in the car with someone. I want you to walk away knowing that, man, look at life and look at where you are. And I know that things aren't always perfect, but man, like if you can change to a just a bit of optimism, it's amazing. Be the sun. Everyone wants to go towards the sun. Why not be the sun? Like, why not be that? Now, I want to share one thing with you, and I want this is for the people that are listening to the podcast. I just want to share the biggest thing that I think's helped us get to where we are today. I
Talk it.
read a book. I read a book, and right when I opened this agency, it was called Rejection Proof by Zhao Zhang. And I'm a big global leadership nerd. Craig Rochelle's my man crush. The guy's a stud, and so he's the one who created the Bible app. All of a sudden, but they have a really cool podcast called Global Leadership Summit, and there was a guy named Zhao Zhang, and he talked about how the fear of rejection almost cost him everything. His whole dream, everything. But he had a great spouse who had challenged him. He had 2 weeks left. I'll let you read the book. But what happens? He went on a 100-day rejection journey where he was asking to be rejected and recording it on YouTube every day to try to overcome this. And after finishing that book, I said, "Why not me, man?" That's the thing. That's the only thing that makes me successful is that I'm dumb enough to take action. I don't realize how I don't think about the fears behind it. I'm just like, oh, if they could do that, I could do that, But then I reached out to Grant Botman. I reached out to James Jenkins before he was the hero that he is today. I mean, always been a hero, but man, he's just all over the place right now. But at the end of the day, I reached out to him. I reached out to Billy Wagner, Chris Paradiso, Scott Howell, a lot of folks like Bradley but I had 7 or 10 agencies I reached out to. A lot of them didn't give me the opportunity. Not they just didn't have the time, but a few people took that time right then, and that was Grant Botma, Billy Wagner, Chris Paradiso, and then James Jenkins. And so James got me the book Traction, changed my life. Like I've read it 15 times. I still don't understand it. It's in Spanish, but I'm gonna get it one day. But Grant Bobman was the first podcast I ever had a chance to be on, and like his belief, like after talk with my dude, like I want to have you on here. I want to talk to the world a little bit about and introduce you, and like the candid things that he said. It just all because I wasn't scared of rejection in that moment, and I went after and all I'm doing is imitating people that are so much better than me. Like, and it's not because I can't get there. It's just because they're just way down the road. I don't see them as anything less or anything more. I just see them as people that I respect, that are all doing amazing things. And man, by the grace of God, they took the time to talk to me. And all I did was just write down some stuff and say, okay, let's get to work. Let's get to work. And so nothing I've done is special. Nothing I've done is insanely off the wall. I just created this thing. It's all about caring about people, finding people that are doing it better than I am and learning from them, and then just waking up every day and doing what? Going to work. That's it. That's it. Just go to work and actually care about what you do. And so if you're listening to this and you're just getting started, like it's so easy. I'm not trying to say what we do is easy, but it really is. Just there's so many people that are telling you exactly how to make the pie. Just make the pie. And then just have a smile on your face and you'll sell it. You know what I mean? Like
Hey,
it's what it is.
that better be a sales tactic, or better be a slogan. That better be a slogan for Powers Insurance
That's
Experts,
it.
because that acronym's PIE. It said
That's it.
it's as easy as doing insurance as it easy as pie. Right here,
That's
one, two,
right.
three. Right.
That's right.
No,
Yeah.
what I think is also super important is the passion piece, man. If you know anything about me, and I know our loyal listeners do, like there's things in life that we do that we like, but there's also things in life that we're passionate about, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're super passionate about it. You wake up and you go to what we call work, right? For me, there's not a day in my life that I feel like I worked. There's some days that I hate the fact that it is considered work, right? Or you could just pack it up and call it a day. But those are the days that make
Mm-hmm.
us better. When you find a true passion in something and true passion in life, you seem to some guys don't some guys or some people are just seem to be blindsided by it. It goes past their ear and goes past their
Yeah.
head. But when you're passionate about not necessarily the insurance industry, for me, it's passionate about making a difference. It's passionate about how can I make somebody smile every day. I always tell
Mm-hmm.
the story of when I drop my daughter off at school every morning. The thing I say when she opens up that door and I hand her her backpack is make someone smile today. That's it.
Mm. That's awesome.
Make someone
That's
smile
awesome.
today. Whether it's you look very pretty, whether that's, hey, Johnny, dude, you won't guess this, dude. I didn't think we are gonna be this competitive. We just saved you $1,500 this year in
Mm-hmm.
insurance. Now that $1,500 to him just transcribed into that Disney pot that he can take his kids on to go to Disney now,
That's
right?
right.
He's
That's right.
you're shooting me wrong if you don't think that he's
Mm-hmm.
not smiling after that, right? So things that we can do, whether it's tangible, intangible, whether that's
Mm-hmm.
savings, whether that's giving somebody a $25 gift card and they just impactfully just go and change the world and buy 25 kids a vanilla ice cream cone or chocolate ice cream cone, like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
amazing, right?
Yeah.
But also, it's easy, right? But also it's not easy. It's easy, but it's not easy. People are giving you the playbook. It's the whole thing. If someone gave you the playbook and told you this is how you win, you're going to take it and figure out how to win. Or you're going to take it and just put it on the bookshelf with all the other books that you've got.
Mm-hmm.
You better take the damn book and you better go try to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
So with
Yeah.
that being said, what are some key things in the last couple of years since 2020? And I know God bless your heart and soul for starting it right in the middle of COVID. What are some things that have made you, outside of the intangible marketing and the intangible
Mm-hmm.
being you guys and your services? You guys have grown, and you've outgrown your current spot and you're in a new place
Mm-hmm.
now, just as effective, I think, today, right?
Yeah.
Eight
Yeah.
twenty
I'm
two twenty
effective
eight
today.
22
Mm-hmm.
22.
That's it.
Jeremy Powers and Pie Powers
What's
made
funny
it
too though
in.
is that we spent our first marketing dollars last week that we've ever spent since we opened our doors. We spent our first. We sponsored. We've been blessed to win 3 times Agent of the Year. So our local papers were very blessed that I've Jeremy Powers and then Powers Insurance Experts the past 2 years. So since we opened, like we don't know what it's not like to win. So it's fun. But we've won 4 years in a row now, and so we sponsored the whole party this year. Like we're going out. We bought 50 tickets to the party. We're just giving them away to people in the community. Like we're just having a great time, and it's such a fun party. It's such a fun atmosphere, and man, we're just really having a great time. But we're 100% organic agency, and we're a little over $2 million now, and it's all personalized. And so people are like, "Wait, what? South Carolina?" And so man, it's just so fun. And the fun part about that for me though is I'm looking at Billy Wagner selling $1 million a month, and I'm like, dude, we suck. And
Yeah.
everybody
Hey,
else is like,
Billy,
dude,
Billy, go golf, dude. Go golf or
I
something. Quit making us look like
look
peasants in here.
bad,
Right.
So no, but some things that have really helped us is, man, I just wrote down the day before the month before I opened my agency, I made myself take a month off. I made myself take a month off, and so I used that time to write down, what does it feel like to be a staff. What are the things that you don't want to forget? Why are you in this position right now?
Like even
Yeah.
back, like, did you put in consideration even back like when you were with Allstate as an
Yes,
intern,
that's
even
what I
as an
mean.
incumbent
Yes,
agent?
that's right. That's
Gotcha.
right.
Okay.
So in 2019, man, it was hard. I literally threw up the day before I told my ex father in law. We were still close even after everything. It was so hard to tell him because he literally left his medical industry to join to open an agency together. It was so hard for me to tell him, hey, listen, this is what I feel like I'm being called to do. But they supported me. He really was great in that and
Awesome.
supported that decision. But I just took the time to write down what would have kept me there. What do I not want to forget? And really, what are the core values of our agency? And that's to educate like no one else was doing. Like to really, like we are not. I don't want to ever hear my agent say that they're salespeople. We are educators, and we get paid what we're worth. We are educators, and we get paid what we're worth. And number two is to create an environment where, like you said, you wake up some days you're like, but I want to create an environment like we do unlimited paid time off from the start, like from the day we open. And I'll tell you that it's a business owner, you're missing the boat on that because people take less time off because they don't want to ruin having that opportunity. Then you give them 3 weeks and like, man, I got to take every day. I've got to take every day. And so don't underestimate the power of what today's world wants. And so I really just wrote down all that stuff, man. I go back and look at it. And anytime we hire someone, I have them write down three things. Where would you buy insurance from today? If you're buying insurance, where would you go to buy it? What do you think insurance is? And then what are the three companies that come to mind? Because I want them to go back every 30, 60 nights and I want them to realize that their mind is changing, that they're changing. So, how can we expect a customer who's never been where we are to feel the feelings that we feel unless we can somehow convey that to them in a passionate way that causes
Hmm.
action? Passion causes action. Passion causes action. That's why I tell them all the time. Like, if you cannot get someone to be willing to get up out of their seat and move, why don't expect anything. I don't care if you can save someone money. Get someone to spend $100 more a month. Let's go.
Yep.
Like, get them to understand what they're buying. That's great to save people money and it makes them smile. But what about the person that smiles and comes and shakes your hand and says, "Man, like you're the bomb," and they're now paying you $1,200 more a month or a year? That happens to us every single week, every single day. We hope, and so I just it's just so much fun to see an agent come in or come from another office and just see them be successful using the system that they would have never thought could have worked. It's just when
It's
that light goes
amazing.
off, yeah, we make a video for every single lead. We make a video for everyone, and so it's fun to see them in that awkward first video. We save it, we keep it. I want to play it. I
It's like you
played
go to the
our
dentist,
yeah,
like you go to the dentist for the first time, or take your puppy to the
yeah,
veterinarian for the
bet,
first time and
yeah.
take the puppy picture. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's it. We keep that. I want to play it bloopers reel at Christmas parties, and whatnot. And so, man, we just have a lot of fun. And I tell them that, listen, my goal is to put you this high, and that to be your foundation.
Yes.
That's my goal. And man, we're in the Great Recession right now, and I have 9 people ready to come to work tomorrow. I started with 3 grand in a dream. I don't have this big. If anybody's out there that wants to come buy into pie and let's just blow up the world together,
Know it.
we've got we just hired 2 people. We just brought in 2 more folks, an 8-year industry vet, and then someone who literally was willing to close down their furniture store, got 8,000 followers on social media just because they want to be a part of what we're building. You want to leave furniture and like the fun stuff, and you want to come be the church. That's what we're doing at Pie, baby. That's what we're doing at
That's
Pie. Like she literally watched the quote video. Her and her husband, they're in our network group. She was like, I want to do that. And no joke, we met for lunch. I was going to tell her, what are you thinking? And by the end of it, she damn sold herself to me. Bro, I was like, let's
let's
go. And then
go. You're in it.
she,
Hey,
her,
just make sure you bring a couple extra stand-up desk over to your
that's right.
boy.
That's right. Her and my wife studied and took their test, and that's what's so fun about my spouse. They both made 83s. I'm like, you guys are 13 points smarter than I was when I started. Like, I better watch out.
The first
I better
time.
watch out. The first try,
What are you
both
guys
of them,
breeding over in North
dude.
Carolina, for Christ's sake?
Yeah,
I
I
mean, for
tell you
that,
what.
for the love of the holy God, man, like
Yeah. dude.
Oh my!
You know,
I need whatever textbook you guys have been
the
studying on.
blessing on blessing on blessing. I had so much grace when I took that test, bro. Like the Lord knew that there was not much going on in my life if I didn't take this path. So
That's
he's like
awesome.
he was like, let's just trip the system, get him through.
We'll get the
We'll
power.
get
Hey,
to
let's
it.
get the powers through. They're doing all right. Let's just get
That's
them
it.
through.
That's it. That's it,
Next
man.
guy on. Well, good.
But
Glad to hear that.
I think if you focus on what are your driving factors, and that can't be everything. You got to get out and go to work. Have a mission, but go to work. Like, I don't even know how to golf. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked to golf and I don't know how. I won't let myself learn how because what's going to happen? Jeremy has an addictive personality. It's the same reason I don't go to Vegas. Like your boy with agency would be gone tomorrow because I have an addictive personality. So I'm not letting myself get talked into golfing right now. It's just not happening. And
Sure.
so no hate on anyone that does. But if you want to be successful, find something, whether that's a niche in commercial, whether that's whatever it may be, find something that man just gets you all in your fields and man just chase it, whether that's people, whether that's like Luis. He was on your show. I love Luis. He's a process guy. he
Love
gets
that
all
guy.
excited about like he gets all excited about oh I made this trigger do that trigger. I'm over here like like but it's so fun to see how he's doing so well.
Sure.
But yet and then you've got like Rob up in New York and he's doing these suits for heroes and he's doing just some incredible things. You got Michael out in Texas. I met all these guys at the innovation conference. I mean, it changed my life. That conference really did. And Michael's out there buying like 18 agencies, getting his pilot's license for when we're in Tennessee. He's just trying to one up everybody. And here's my wife. My wife comes back from that conference and says, I want to be an insurance agent. That's what's so beautiful about this industry. You find some other people that are doing some really cool things. They might be a little bit different than the way you're doing it, but man, there's no one way to do it here. It's just fun, man. It's just fun.
There's a thousand ways to skin a cat, man.
That's it.
Not any way is different than the others. As long as it gets done and you have true passion and love behind it. You mentioned something about Luis and his processes that I think is hilarious. And when I say it's hilarious to me, it's just it like gets when I say hilarious and kind of have that smiley factor to it. It's like
Yeah.
it makes me happy and it's funny because it's just like the timing of it. We all bring it into play and. This podcast is completely 100% authentic and genuine. And you'll ask anybody on it. I don't take show notes. I don't like plan out how I'm going to talk about the show.
Mm-hmm.
Questions, nothing. It just kind of it's funny how it all kind of leads into what my next topic or maybe next question would have wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be. So you bring up Louise and the processes. You and I use a similar product that I think's been
Mm-hmm.
very, very well. Very, very for me, it's honestly been the number one thing that's gotten me to where I'm at in
Oh.
the last 24 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
For you, what are some things that you guys have implemented? And obviously, you said you started with $3,000 and a dream, right? Like I love that
Mm-hmm.
factor. $3,000 in a dream. Put that on a textbook or put that on a piece of paper and staple it on your wall because I think it's
That's
amazing.
it.
I think you'll come back
Yeah.
to that one day, Jeremy, and you'll be like, that's like my book is going to be named that.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't start with tech. Didn't start with being able to have all of this, amazing technology and amazing processing, or even being at a conference like innovation. But when stuff like that happens, your mind gets opened up to other specific things that can help make your streamlining process and your customer experience for the people that you care about quicker and better.
Mm-hmm.
What types of things are you guys doing, or have you started implementing that have made that process better? What types of things do you guys do or integrate within your systems that make your agents, I guess, feel like they are still selling insurance, but also feel like that they're not just being combobulated with data and can only can only write so much based off of their capacity of
Mm-hmm.
work. What types of things have you
Absolutely.
guys done for that?
I said, well, first off, we're part of Smart Choice, and so they courted me for 8 years. Rick Matthews, wonderful guy, Carrie, Deborah, Angela, just all of Philip. I mean, all the great people, man. And so some people hate clusters. I'm absolutely in love with my cluster. I think they do me right. I was able to start with $0, and I now have 100% ownership of my book. I pay a small fee, and I mean, I'm just so pumped with it. But they gave me access, and they got me in touch with some carriers that weren't appointing, and I got a chance. I always tell everyone, just give me a chance to dance. It's my job to do the salsa. You know what I mean? I just need a chance to get on the stage. You know what I mean? And so they gave me those chances, and we got them. The state auto, the selective, people that hadn't appointed a scratch agency, they weren't willing to, and they said, you know what, we're going to take a chance on this guy. We got a platinum progressive because we had an interview with them, and they said, listen, like we believe in you so much. Here's platinum. You know what I mean? Like we're rocking. We were just very blessed, man. And so that was huge for us. But we implemented through those partnerships, Easy Links, which we've now transferred over to Better Agency, and the program's growing. Some days I regret it, some days I'm really happy about it. Just ask me, it
Sure.
depends what day. But I do believe they are agent focused. But the three biggest things, man, I'll tell you, it's Canopy Connect, which is the one we were talking about. A shout out to my boy David Watson over with Risk Advisor. Shout him out. They've got a pretty cool thing going right there, especially for established agencies with a lot of CSRs. But ultimately, Advisor Evolved and Canopy Connect is like my 1-2 punch right now. Because Advisor Evolved allows, we create videos for everyone. We're 2 years old and we have over 200 5-star Google reviews. And
Wow.
that is organic creation. And they're not just the 5 stars. It's like this guy, like what a guy, it was just so funny. It's like, I thought insurance was a scam. This dude totally changed my mind, my opinion. I love our reviews because it's like authentic fun. But it's because of Advisor Evolve that we now are able to use that as time spent on our website. Like think about that, AJ. If everyone in your office is making videos and creating something that's really getting to the customer they can watch, I'll jokingly tell everyone this video serves 3 purposes. Number 1, information overload. Number 2, it's the best sleep aid you've ever had. And number 3, it's date night material. I mean, who doesn't want to sit down with their spouse with some popcorn and watch insurance videos? I mean, 3 big ticket items. So we make people laugh in the video. It's really fun, but we're getting time spent on our website. Like we're getting that, and then at Canopy Connect, we literally are getting people to send us all their information. Like, agent, if you're not using Canopy Connect, if you are an idiot, I'm sorry. Like you got
Hey, I'll sec. They and this is complete honest truth. They are not a show sponsor,
no.
nor do they pay me or you or anybody dollars for this. That is the truth.
I mean, it has just been incredible. I mean, and I'll tell you, my coaching clients, I'm very blessed. Like I said, it's just such an honor to get to coach other agencies and see them blossom into success with their teams and stuff. But that's the 3 things that we implement: is you got to get Canopy. You need, and what a great tool for you, agent. They're getting Canopy, and if they're a captive agent, you've got some friends that are State Farm, Allstate agents. Man, just tell them to send them right over to you. If you can't win, you're already helping. You're already their friend. You've already introduced this great tool into their life. What a great referral source. Sometimes your rivals can be your best
Your
friends.
best. I've said it before. I've said it before,
Allow
Jeremy.
it. Yeah.
Outside, I was talking to you about the incompetent agent that I know
Mm-hmm.
that I'm training right now, or helping
Mm-hmm.
throughout some processes here right now, up
Mm-hmm.
about 3 hours away from me. Outside of Canopy, your local captive agents should be your next best friends.
That's right.
Should be your next best friends, because they can't
That's
write
right.
it all, nor can they write the shit that they don't want to, or nor will they ever.
There you go. There you go. And so I mean, keep not thinking about that. My local Columbia agents, don't block Columbia out from here. And I'm just playing. No, I love all the guys,
Because they're
even the ones that
great.
are right down the road.
If it
Yeah.
fits, if it
Yeah.
fits, go for it, because they've got a hell of a
Yeah.
product. 100%. I've
Absolutely.
always said that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But Canopy, man, what it does is there's a few situations. I'll say, guys, you're getting all their information. What you need to do is take away the pain points. We tell people, we make posts, and it's like, we're going to make the process easy for you. In less than a minute, we've got all your stuff. And then we're going to make a video for you. We're going to help you understand what it is that you have. And then number 3, guess what? We'll help you cancel your other carriers, because we've already got all the information. We know who Barbara is, and we know where our agency is, and we know what your policy number is. We're going to make it easy for you. And I mean, we're only 3 months into Canopy. We have like 240 pools total in 3 months. I mean, we are just absolutely out there selling it like it's the next best drug, and everybody wants to get some of it. You know, I mean,
Sure.
I cannot tell you just how great. Like, we had some little earthquake rumbles here, man. We were posting about earthquake insurance and just trying to meet people's needs where they were at and putting that link there. And man, we used earthquake as a gateway drug, because then we used the Canopy to get well, while we're here, we might as well look at everything. You know, we're getting into pet insurance right now. I have a Labradoodle that's my agency mascot that I purchased 2 weeks ago. And so we're going to be out at our local places. We have Soda City connectors every weekend. And so we're going to rent a booth. We're going to be out there with our pet insurance product. But guess what? It's a gateway drug to get them to fill the Canopy out. I'm really close with 2 local coffee shops. They've got our thing in there. It says, hey, we're giving out 2 gift cards a month. All you've got to do is scan this and enter in, and we'll get it. And they know what they're doing. They're submitting that information. Boom, boom, boom. Man, I cannot tell you the fact they give you those QR codes, that they're just great people. I mean, it is literally the biggest superpower that an insurance agency can have right now. And it blows my mind how many people are not giving it the respect that it deserves. I mean, I hate to say this, but it's too cheap. Like, I don't want to say, I'm not going to change it because I don't
Sure.
want to pay more, but dude, I would pay double for it. Like,
I agree.
it is good.
Now, prior to, I remember I had someone had brought up the question about Canopy, and I had stood up and said
Mhm.
something. Prior to January, you weren't using that, right?
Prior to January, I was not using it.
No, that's how quickly it takes, man. And like I said, Jeremy and I had a little conversation before we hop on the show. I'm the only one in our office that's using it, and I actually paid out of my
Hmm.
own pocket, right? And it's also because the style of our agency and
Hmm.
the resources that we do have, and the way that I approach it, right? Whether it's the texting piece of it, to where they don't even
Hmm.
get your cell phone number. That's a big thing that I've had a lot of agents that I've consulted with say, like, I just don't want them, if I text it to them, I have to copy and paste the link. You don't have to worry about that. Like, it'll get sent the specific way that you want it to get sent to, but it's also how you transcribe it to the customer. You can't
Hmm.
just send them the damn thing and expect them to understand what exactly they're doing, because the
Hmm.
great thing that they've done is they've opened up the editing piece of the platform to where you can change wording, you can change branding, you can change logo, you can make it say and sound exactly like it's coming out of your guys' mouth. I don't know how
Hmm.
you guys talk about this, Jeremy. And I know you guys are you're gonna be on this week's or next week.
Tomorrow.
So
Yeah,
that'll
tomorrow.
be, and I'll put this clip out so on August 23rd. So coming up at this point in time when I post this, it'll be today. So on August
Mhm.
23rd, check on Canopy Connect's Facebook link. If you have, or go to Facebook and like Canopy Connect and ask to be a part of that group, because Jeremy will be on tomorrow discussing the things and the tactics that he uses and his agents use inside their agency to
Mhm.
get that pull, because it's not as easy as just,
Mhm.
hey, fill out this link and we'll have your insurance. Some people will let that happen, but when someone feels like they're just giving away their current insurance policies and they feel like they're being judged based off their current premium, nor do they want you to know, and they're truly shopping it around, they may not want to share that information. So I think
Yeah.
it's all about the deliverable. What types of things have you done, or how are you, outside of being of the QR codes in the coffee shops and whatnot? If John Smith calls you and asks you guys, to quote his insurance, what types of things are you transcribing back to that customer in order to maybe even get him to
Mhm.
click that link when you email? Hey,
Mhm.
what's your email? I'm going to send you over something, a
Mhm.
few pieces of information about us. What are you getting him to, one, click on the link, but also what are you getting him? What types of
Sure.
language are you getting on that link to
Yeah.
get him to put that information in?
Sure, and this may sound crazy because we get 4 customers a year into our insurance agency. We will not sell state minimum limits. We have a minimum, and it's crazy. Like, I always tell everyone, you ask someone, "What's your 3 things you would recommend to a new agent?" Don't write any business. No one's listening to that, bro. No one's listening to that. Write all that business, but set a date where you're not going to anymore.
Sure.
Like, set a date where you're going to revisit that, and because that's such smart advice. But now if someone's not willing to fill out a canopy, it's 99% chance that we're not going to be their agent,
Yep.
because we use Glovebox, we use the things that are very technology focused, and we're building this agency. I tell my customer service ladies, like or and gentlemen, I tell my team, I don't believe the customer's always right. I hired you. I'm going to fight for you, and I'm never going to try to bring people into this business that are going to demoralize you.
Yep.
Like, and so that means something. And I think we have such a team rally to where when my I finally had to force one of my reps to take a day off, and she's literally texting that day saying, "Hey, you sure I can't help with it?" You want to build a good team chemistry. Be there for your agents and don't always give the customer the upper hand. Like, people are mean. Like, your people that you hired them for a reason because you believe in them. And if that's not the reason you're hiring people, you need to really change up the way you're doing things. And so what I would say is with Canopy, it's honestly it's just a piece of the pie. It's like an interview question for us. If you're not willing to do this, we really have to think long and hard if you're going to be a good part of our agency, because we're a texting agency. You're an EFT agency. You're going to have an online account. If you're not willing to meet us there, man, thank you for helping us
See
understand
ya.
that we're just not the best fit.
The
And so
unfortunate
we yeah.
the unfortunate part about it is the insurance industry is a little delayed behind the process of what everybody else is doing. I mean, how do you
Mm-hmm.
pay your trash bill? How many times you can walk down to the trash company and you'll
That's it.
take your debit card out and pay your bill? You don't, because they
That's it.
mandate you get on the online account and set up your account. If you want to see
Well,
and you want to change service and
yeah.
you want to edit this, you've got to have an online account.
Well, what hurts me about agents that I spend some time with, and they're like, "Man, I'm really jealous of what you've got. I really want to get that," but yet they're still willing to write the customers that are never going to do that. And it's like, if you have to say that this has to stop if you want your agency to be different. You have to, and I just fully believe that if we focus 50% of the clientele we're never going to touch. And then 50% of the clientele we have a chance with, we're only really going to have a real chance with 25% of that. But if we go after that really hard, our bills are going to be paid. We're going to be just fine. Everything's going to be good. And so we're going to spend our time focusing on people that don't, it's never perfect. It's never easy. It's never, I'm not trying to say like life is rainbows and butterflies, but if you spend most of your time with those folks, man, it really just helps you enjoy the reason I'm so passionate is because I choose to be around people that cause me to continue to build that passion, and so for us, we'll send a text when it says, hey, John, man, it was so great talking to you. This link that I'm sending you below, this is for you because we're going to be able to get all your information. We're going to be able to make sure we provide you accurate quotes. I'm going to give you a video that's on this half me, on this half what we're comparing it to, so you can make the best decision. I'm an educator. You're a bill payer. I'm the educator, so I'm going to let you know what it is, but it's your job to choose between McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, or Ruth Chris Steakhouse. I want to just show you the difference. And so
I want Ruth's Chris.
that's it. I always say my goal is to get you Ruth Chris for as close to Chick-fil-A as I can. That's my goal. Because if I make it something they understand, then it means something to them.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so that's just what we do. And my agents really have bought into that. My new rep that started with me last Monday, she's already made 15 videos. She's already had 10 people say, man, that's awesome. I'm so thankful that you made this video. She's already winning because of it. And I'm like, what if I were an agent that said, hey, we do this, but you don't have to do it. It wasn't a, hey, you don't have to. It was like, no, this is the way we do business.
Yep.
And now it's nothing different. This is just her job. She wanted the job. She took the job. And this is the way we do the job. And man, it's crazy whenever you are not a hypocrite and you say, we're going to do something, you stick to it. It's amazing how everyone else jumps on the ship. It's really incredible.
Well, I think too, what I love about that is and you talk about why people are more attracted, like you're hiring agents left and right. And the reason that is because you're telling them what's going to win rather than here's a process of what's learned. Here's a process of what's won for us the last 20.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue, right? So like the reason why you're attracting these people, is people want that. People do business that way now, and they think, oh, the consumer mindset of them goes into play and says, if I was to buy from somebody in the community who's got insurance, I want to be the one like that. Like when you ask that question, back to where the interview question is, who would you want to buy insurance from? Name the top 3 companies that come to your mind. Because if you were to ask that to them in 2 years, every single one of those categories should say Powers Insurance Experts, right?
Absolutely.
Because they've understood the insurance by that point. And the big misconception is, and I'll never take this away from the way that I've learned. I never will. But I wrote everything and anything my first 2 years.
Absolutely.
1, it helped me learn so damn much. But 2, it helped me learn what I didn't want to mess with.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I didn't. You're the guy that they're coming after for the 25-50 limits. That's great. Figure out a way to help them and assist them in a most efficient way. But also, if they're 25-50, that means that they've had previous history or financially they're not there. Those people still need taken care of, just like the 250-100s. They really, really do, right?
Well, what's great too. Well, what's great is that we had a 10-year rep come on with us, and I'll tell you, I was really running this a solo, other than a 1099 agent who's been with me for a long time. His name is Garnet. He started with me because I literally tried to not let him start. I offered him a position. He said, Jeremy, no, I want to work for you. I was like, go work for Allstate. I just opened independent. He's like, no, you don't understand. Like, I want to work for you. And I was like, oh, Lord. But I brought him on, and he's been with me. We made it through COVID. We survived. We made it. But really, 4 or 5 months ago, one of my carrier reps hooked me up with an amazing person. She hated her job. She needed a difference. And she said, you know what? You need to meet Powers. People, don't underestimate your carrier reps. Build relationships, strong relationships, because you never know when they're going to put they're going to put gold in your lap. I hired a 10-year rep, came to me from an agency that was $10 million, just got acquired by one of the big boys. And she told me just a few months ago 2 things that really blew my mind. She was talking to my newest hire, and she said, I have to pinch myself that I get to work here. Man, that literally blew my mind, that my dreams and my reality is coming true, that someone would say, like, this is it. Like, I love it here. But number 2, she's like, you're the lady was coming from another insurance. She said, one thing you're not going to understand is that, like, we really don't have to call and ask people. Like she's like, Jeremy, you got to understand, like, you get so many requests for insurance that the agency that I came from that was 4 times, 3 times your size, they could have never even dreamed to get the amount of referrals that we get organically here. I don't know any different. It's just it's
What's
what I'm in
happening? Yeah.
every day. Like today alone, 6 calls for quotes, six into our agency. And so she was literally like, I can't take anymore. Like, can somebody else take? And I'm
Sure,
like,
sure.
we're moving into our new office, and I'm sitting here like, man, how blessed and how lucky are we? But we're not going to take that for granted. We're not going to sit on it. Like, we're going to keep growing, and I tell you, the moment I make enough money, I have to hire somebody else. I pay myself so little right now because it's the dream, it's the vision, it's what we're building. And we could have expanded into 2 more states, but inflation has rocked our world in South Carolina this year. And so what I told my clients too, we're not expanding because of you, because you matter, because you're the reason I started this agency. And once we have you taken care of, then we'll start focusing on the people, because I made you a promise when I became your agent, and I'm not turning you down just to go into another state. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And you wouldn't believe the amount of customers that are out there fighting for me on social media, like that are like, somebody say they're like, no, you need to go to Hill. Like, rates are the way they are because of the way they are. But this guy, and it's just in my mind, I'm like, dude, like, I have this sales force of passionate believers. And like, one lady was like, I was at my barbecue on Saturday talking about, pool insurance and this, that, and the other, and what you had told me. And I'm like, at a barbecue? Like, it just blows my mind how, like, we're taking this thing that we do that most people consider such a negative bill, and we're turning into something that they're making barbecue conversation around. Like, that is when your life is going in the right direction, is when you're literally inspiring people to bring you up at a barbecue conversation. That's it.
I love that, and you should be proud of yourself. And I can, if one thing too, guys, if you're listening to the show, you can tell one thing about Jeremy: he's got passion, he's got enthusiasm, he's got a great attitude, and he puts in effort. And those are the 4 controllables, Jeremy. Those are the 4 things that you can control day in and day out. I truly believe in. Those are things that I wake up every single day and try to teach myself, try to teach my kids, people that I'm around, colleagues, business partners, whatever it might be. 4 controllables every day that require no talent: passion, enthusiasm, attitude, effort.
Man, that's
That's bare
great.
minimum that takes every single day. And I think that you've got it, and you can 100% surely tell in the passion of your voice, which leads me into my favorite segment of the show, which is the last 5 questions. These are 5 rapid fire questions. Sometimes they go in the right order. Sometimes they don't. Some of them are a little cheesy, but we'll end with a really, really good question that will hopefully put some impact and do what's made for this show and do what's made for what we do every day and wake up and to make a difference in somebody's life. So
That's it.
question number 1, what's your favorite color? I think I know this question.
It's actually great.
That's not the answer. That's not what I was expecting.
I
That's
know.
not what
I
I was
know.
expecting. What's
I
your favorite
know.
flavor of ice cream?
Butter pecan.
Wow. Any specific brand?
Not really. Well, I would say, like, it's no, they don't want to make it. My great grandparents used to give it to me as a kid, and it just really, it's them. It's my great grandparents wrapped up in ice cream. That's the reason I get it every time.
I love that, man. Great. That's phenomenal. If you could visit one place in the world, where would you go visit and why?
Probably Chris Paradiso's office tomorrow, because I want to be more like that man when I grow up.
Hey, Murray, he's got American flag. He's got a better
Hey,
background than I do. He's got
I'm telling you, I'm not. My wife is a missionary. She's from all over the place. Like, I am. It's so weird. Like, when I'm on vacation, I'm thinking about, like, not in a bad way. I love what I do, man. I really do. And, like, going to work's not going to work for me. Like, it's making a difference. And so, I want to go learn from somebody I really respect, who is. I'm telling you, I'm 1% of that guy. And so I just want to get. I've been to a few other agencies. He's just next on the list, and I want to get to his. I want to get to his office, man. I want to get there and learn something.
I love that. That's phenomenal. Phenomenal. Let me ask you this question. If you could spend 24 hours with anybody outside of Chris Paradiso,
Okay,
dead or alive, who would it be?
Jesus Christ.
I knew that was going to be your
I
answer.
know. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I
That was
know.
too easy.
I
That
know.
was
I
too
know. I know.
easy.
There's a lot of things
That's true.
I want to see walking on water. You know what I'm saying? I want to see some cool
Sure.
stuff. But if I was away from that, I would probably say, if I could spend, it'd probably be Steve Carell.
That's a great answer.
I mean, that guy just, man, he makes me laugh. He's a good dude. So that'd be the second. What's Jesus than him? It's hard to,
It's hard,
whatever.
edgy. Yeah.
That's it.
So
That's
we
it.
have one of, hey, you got, maybe that's a great question I add. Maybe that's 6 rapid fire questions is
That's
you
right.
got, if someone says Jesus, you got Jesus and so in the
Yeah,
same
so
category.
so.
Which one, they got, hey,
Uh,
you got a calendar invite from both. Which one are you accepting?
that's
So
right. That's right.
hope
That's
it's
right.
Jesus.
That's
Last
right.
question. This is one of my favorites because it is one of those things that can make a difference in someone's life. If you had one piece of advice for anybody out in the world, what would it be? And how could they make an impact? Whether that's somebody that could
Yeah.
potentially be fighting this between,
Mhm.
not sure if they want to take a leap of faith in the new job, if they're not,
Mhm.
they're struggling through life, going through divorce, something like that. What type of advice that could be very, very universal that could help somebody out in the world right now?
Well, I've been through all of those things that you just said, and I would say that quit being your own worst enemy. I mean, quit like there's no one says worse things about you than yourself. And the nightmares that you create in any situation that are never going to happen, you're spending way too much time on. Take a sip of optimism. Just start telling yourself not fantasies, but start saying the things. It's incredible how your brain is and what you believe will likely become true. You start coughing today and tell yourself you're sick. I promise you, in 2 days you're going to start really getting sick. Like,
Yep.
believe in yourself. Be a little optimist. Look for the sunshine. Don't look for the clouds, and just watch how quickly your life can change. I mean, I'm not saying once again just go out and become an extreme optimist. That's a lie. But for every one bad thing, try to find three good things, and just watch how quickly your life changes, and that infection just spreads to the people around you.
Mic drop. Jeremy, dude,
That is
I
said.
honestly, dude, I love you, brother, man. This is you absolutely have knocked out of the park. Can't wait to hear you and see you at the Better Agency Conference coming up very shortly. You're doing great things. You've got the right mindset. Gosh, man, I just and we talked about this previously. I know I'll be in your shoes here before too long, and I can't wait to look back on it and say, hey, I remember on August 22nd when it was 9 o'clock p.m. We were still on a Zoom call recording a
That's
podcast,
it.
and that's
That's
one thing
it.
that's true. It's just it's the passion and the very I guess selfless mind of you that's willing to give and willing to put that extra mile into work, life, and your family. And that means a world of difference, not only without even financials in life. It's all about the family, man. And you're really setting up and you're giving yourselves, you're giving your kids a platform to show for you to show them, what being somebody's heroes alike. And that's you as their father, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You should
I
be proud of
appreciate that.
yourself. And, for that, I love you. The floor is yours for a couple minutes. If you have anything, holler, any little, shameless plugs, things
No.
that you're going to be at, where can people find you at? If
Yeah.
someone wants to get in
Yeah.
contact with you and have a conversation, kind of lay that
Yeah.
out in the puzzle for us. But the floor is yours for a second.
Yeah, well, I'll say it's really cool to see someone like yourself and to hear like a lot of things we agree on, and then like the fact that like neither of us knew we used Canopy Connect. Maybe we've seen it a few times on this side, but one thing I'll say, man, is anytime that I need something, you had this really cool graphic. You're like, dude, let me show you how to do it. Here's how you do it. Here's how to do it. Like, you're, dude, I want to take this time and show gratitude, and just say, man, thanks for what you give to the industry. I don't need any selfless plugs about me. I just want to say to you, like, man, you're changing people's lives because you're spending time doing this, but don't let it take away from that time you get with your kids. You know what I mean? Like, find a
Yep.
time, find a balance, bring them and have a kids podcast, show them what daddy's doing, bring them on the
Sure.
podcast, have some fun. I'm just saying at the end of the day, like, man, just thank you for what you do. It really is a lot of work. And the only things I'll say about me is that if I can help you in any way, I would love, if there's one person out there that says, man, like something he said, I want to know more about, whether it's send out cards. We do have a podcast called Purpose Over Profits. And really the whole goal of that is just to really just inspire someone like you guys do to me when I listen to your shows, and just to have that opportunity to give back to the community. And so, man, like I said, I want to end with gratitude. I just want to say thanks for what you do. Thanks for inspiring people. There are people that's agencies, their careers, their lives are just different, all because you said something, or you were smart enough or dumb enough to bring a certain person on a podcast, and man, it did something. And I just really appreciate and respect that.
Well, I do appreciate, like, humbly, I gave me chills just now, and that means a lot, and it goes from one of those things too, man. Like, we do what we do because of each other, and
Mm-hmm.
we do what we do not to get the power and the accolades and the taps on the back. It's because it's true passion and it's true love that we've got, and that's what you're doing. You're a servant. We're all servants,
Mm-hmm.
man. We're all servants out here trying to make a
That's
difference.
it.
So,
That's
so
it. That's
so
it.
for that, I will leave it at that. Jeremy Powers, obviously, you can find his contact information and check him out on all over the place. So just type in, obviously, if you're in North Carolina, just type in Jeremy Powers, and it's better
Well,
than
South
anything else.
Carolina. So
South, that's what, yeah, got it. South Carolina's
North
better.
Carolina's way prettier. It's way prettier in South Carolina. Like literally, people forget we're even in America. It is what it is. You know, I'm what Tom Brady would have been if he didn't make it in the NFL, and I live in the place that nobody knows. It is what it is, man.
So I
Somebody's got
love
to
it.
do it.
I love
Somebody's
it.
got to do it.
Well, if you
All
don't
right.
find him at the golf course getting golfing lessons, you'll find him at
That's
the
it.
Better Agency Conference coming
That's
up
right.
shortly. For
That's it.
myself, Jeremy Powers of Powers Insurance Experts, I'm Mitch Gibson. Always remember that you can make a difference. We'll catch you next time, everybody. Take care.
Boom.